back to the HaneyBiz Project with host Mark Haney.
All right. Welcome back to the HaneyBiz Project, brought to you courtesy of Sun System Technology. I'm Mark Haney, and today, I've been waiting for this day for like 2.5 years. We have Arlen Orchard, the CEO of SMUD, in the house. How you doing, Arlen?
I'm doing great, Mark. Thanks for having me
Thank
today.
you for coming in. You're one of the most influential people in Sacramento, and we have you here today. But as we were talking before the break, there's something pretty important or extremely important that recently happened with your family. You became a grandfather. What's that like?
You know, it's much better than having a kid. There's only one reason to have a kid, and that's to have a grandchild.
Oh, that's so cool. And your grandson lives here locally, so you get to hold on to him, and he's 6 weeks old. Very cool. But Sacramento Municipal Utilities District is such a huge responsibility. Give us an overview of how you look at SMUD.
So, you know, SMUD is big. We've got 2,200 employees, a $1.7 billion a year budget. You know, we're 70 years old now, which is a big deal for us, quite frankly. We just
You're not that
celebrated
old.
No, but I'm getting damn close. No. I'm on my way there. But, you know, we're community owned. So for me, the big question I always pose to the organization is how are we going to demonstrate value to our customers in our community today? And that's what we work on every day. From our call center reps all the way through our guys on the line, all the way to our folks who are coming up with the new sexy products that we're selling.
Yeah, and we're talking at the beginning of the show about innovation, and sometimes these incremental changes are so helpful in driving the success of a business. But I mean, at a place like SMUD, there's game-changing type of technology that is happening that you've got to try to stay out in front of. How do you do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. The utility world is changing really, really rapidly. I joke with my employees, we're moving away from a company that sold electricity to becoming a technology company that also happens to provide people with electricity. And it's very true. Our investments in technology, in new cutting edge things like solar and storage is becoming a major part of our budget and a major part of what we offer our customers.
Okay.
So it's a big part of it. We're even in the e-commerce business now.
Yeah, now describe what that is, because most of us think about you turn on your light and you get a SMUD bill, right? But what you talked about solar. What kind of solar business do you have?
So we looked at actually, should we do rooftop solar? A lot of people are interested in that. We looked at our cost structure and said, no, we can't do that. It doesn't make sense. But what we did look at is we know our businesses want to be more sustainable. We have a big part of our business that customers that's important to them. So we said, well, what can we do to offer them an alternative? And so we said, well, we can build a large-scale solar field and provide them a portion of it at a fixed cost over 20 years. So we rolled that out. Our first customer was the Kings.
Wow.
So we provide 95% of the energy to them, which is all renewable. We have expanded that program now to more than 100 megawatts. By the end of the year, it'll be the largest program of its kind in the nation. So it's just one example of how we're taking a technology that's cutting edge and looking at how do we apply it to the benefit of our customers.
And you think about that, obviously it's to the benefit of your customer, but in what way is it a benefit to SMUD? And I say that meaning you guys are in the business of manufacturing electricity. Now, when you have something that's more renewable, you don't need to make it, right? It's driving the price down and so on. What's that do to a business model?
So that is one of the reasons we're looking at these new things, because we've been big supporters of solar since it started, 20 some odd years ago. Actually, SMUD had the first solar facility in the country owned by a big utility. But when you think about every customer who puts solar on their rooftop, that's money out of our pocket. That's a reduction in our revenues over the course of the year. That's fine. That is customer's choice. But my job as the CEO is to figure out, how do I provide customers with an option that gives them the incentive to stay with SMUD? And so that community solar, our solar shares program is that. With our business customers, they're signing 20-year deals, which mean I've secured that customer and that customer relationship for the next 20 years.
True. Well, thinking about your customers, you guys were ranked, I think, number one by J.D. Powers in customer service and customer satisfaction. Excuse me. What goes into that? How did that happen?
So that it's not an easy thing, because you
Okay.
really have to pay attention to your customers. You have to spend time understanding what do they need, what do they want, and what they value. And then you have to turn around and figure out how you do that in a cost-effective way. And so we use a lot of analytics around our customers. We buy third-party information so that we can better understand our customers. We're using really complicated market segmentation so we can start to target programs to specific customers instead of doing the old way of marketing, which was, you put it out on the news waves and the airways and hope somebody grabs the offer. So we're trying to be very strategic and sophisticated in meeting the needs of our customers.
Besides customer satisfaction, how do you measure the success?
So we have a bunch of metrics that we look at. We're a metric-driven organization. We're a utility, not surprising. So customer satisfaction is a big part of it. We measure customer loyalty. We look at how competitive our rates are. That's a big, important part of what we do. Currently, our rates are about 30% lower than the surrounding utility.
Yes.
And when you think about that from an economic development standpoint, that means our business customers and our residential customers have more money in their pocket to spend either growing their business or spending money in the community.
Yeah, and those rates, I mean, I know as a business guy, I've got offices in Sacramento County, and yeah, the rates are cheaper, but I mean, does everybody around Sacramento know that? It seems like a huge recruiting tool for people that are in your district, especially coming from, say, Bay Area or something like that.
We actually use that. I'm on the board of the Greater Sacramento Area Council, Economic Council, and we actually use that as a selling point for the Sacramento region as far as attracting new business here. On top of that, then we'll work with these new customers to provide additional rate discounts depending on the number of jobs they're bringing to the area. So.
And I know one of the things you do, a lot of this show is about entrepreneurship and free enterprise and taking a risk. But SMUD is very supportive in terms of helping drive innovation. Talk to us about the things that SMUD does for the entrepreneurial and the innovative community.
So innovation is a big part of our business. We think it's a big part of our future. So we're looking at a number of things we do. For example, we support the Hacker Lab.
Right.
We support IO Labs as an example to help find those new great ideas and help bring those to commercialization. We have a program where we look for, they don't have to be local, but many of them are, small local technology companies that have a solution that will either work for us or work for some of our customers. And then we partner with those folks to help test and develop that technology. And then if they're successful, we take a slice of their revenues going forward. So
Wow.
It's good for us and our customers, and they get a living lab and a lot of experts to help develop and commercialize
Almost like
their
a
product.
corporate VC type of fund where you're helping
It is a
the
little
next,
bit.
yeah.
It is a little bit like that.
That's really cool. So thinking about culture, right? You talk about your team, and I know that team is a huge part of why you have the customer loyalty that you have. Talk to us about the culture of the SMUD team. How does it stay so innovative, and then what drives it to continue to not be run like a government agency, if you will?
Yeah, so we talk a lot about how do you create long-term sustainability, not only for the company from a financial standpoint, but also our obligation to create a sustainable community that we serve. So what's really interesting is we spend a lot of time talking to our employees about how important our customers in the community are, and our employees have completely embraced that. They give about $400,000 of their own money back to nonprofits every year.
Wow.
They did 15,000 hours of volunteer time last year. We have days where we go out and support nonprofits. That feeds into a culture that says we care. And when you do that, you inspire your employees to do more. And when you do that, they want to be innovative because they're always looking at what's the next thing that I can do to help our customers and help our community. So that kind of connection to the community actually inspires innovation in the company.
Without a doubt. It can be infectious, if you will.
Yeah.
If one of the teammates is going above and beyond, and they jump out there and do that as well. Thinking about the security as relates to electricity, right? It's so important that we protect our grid. You and I were in Washington, D.C. earlier this year, and as Sacramento sort of went to try to influence what was happening with the new administration. But I was around you, and I was thinking about the enormous amount of responsibility that it is to manage the security for SMUD or for any municipality that's responsible for electricity and these things that we all take for granted. Talk to us a little bit, if you can, about the security that goes into protecting SMUD.
So the biggest threat, it's the threat that other big businesses face, is cybersecurity right now. We are hit with thousands of phishing attempts every day. We have a 24/7 cybersecurity team that works 24 hours a day. We have a cybersecurity control center now. We are subject to the electricity industry is the only industry in the country that is subject to mandatory cyber standards promulgated by the federal government. If we fail to do that, it's $1 million a day fine. So we take it obviously very seriously. That is one of those things that keeps me awake, is that concern about cybersecurity. It's not just taking down the grid, which is bad enough, which is really the foundation of the economy. It also is, we have a lot of information about our customers and about our employees. True. And as a business, you spend a lot of time creating a strong reputation, and that can be gone in an instant if you have a breach that involves all of your customer information being out in the dark web.
Well, I know just getting into CU, you and I had a meeting a few months back, and I basically had to go through a full background check to get into your office.
I'm really sorry about the strip search.
Yeah, it was a little awkward. There's parts of it that you don't hate.
I know.
But thinking about, it's 2017, it's the end of the year. There's a lot of successes that happen at SMUD. Your rankings are off the charts high. But it's also the time for a lot of us that we do our planning for 2018. What's next year look like for Arlen Orchard and SMUD?
So next year is going to be as busy as this year, if not busier. We've got a lot of new innovative things that we're doing to create new revenue streams that come into the company to help ultimately help supply the funds for the technology and the infrastructure for our customers, rather than going out and raising our rates. So, for example, this last quarter, we rolled out our e-commerce platform, and we've done over $1 million in business in just 3 months.
What would somebody buy on the e-commerce platform?
A Nest thermostat. LED lights. At some point, we hope to be able to sell electric vehicles on our website.
Wow,
so that we're going to roll that out and add more and more products and services next year. We just executed a agreement with Yolo County to provide what is called community choice aggregation services to them, and we're negotiating it with another community in the Bay Area to do that also. So we're actually moving out of the Sacramento region. We're activating a partnership that we signed last year with NEC, which is a big multinational Japanese company, and a Bay Area technology company called Space-Time Insight, to develop products and services for the Japanese market, which is their electricity market is deregulating. So a lot of interesting, exciting things that you wouldn't expect from your homegrown utility.
No,
like
exciting stuff, innovative stuff in a larger organization. I think a lot of times in larger organizations like SMUD, it's hard to be as innovative, and often you got to. Some of these entrepreneurial companies are the ones that really do the game-changing stuff. But it sounds like you're definitely working on some really cool stuff that that'll allow you to change as Sacramento changes. So just in closing thoughts too about Sacramento and your longer term vision for SMUD and our longer term vision for Sacramento. What are your thoughts?
So I think the Sacramento region is really, we've all been waiting for, when does that time come for Sacramento? And I really feel like this is Sacramento's day. This is the time for us to move forward. I think it started with hanging on to the Kings and getting the center up and going. I think there's a level of excitement in the community. There's a level of hope and confidence that we're becoming who we should be. I think Sacramento's the next great city in America. So
Sacramento is the next great city in America. I love that, and I want to thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for what you do for our community through SMUD. Congratulations on being a grandfather.
Thank you.
And thanks for that. We finally got you on the show. Arlen Orchard, SMUD. Join the revolution at HaneyBiz.com. When we come back, we're going to have the president of L&H Airco, Mr. Frank Wagoner, will be joining us. This is the HaneyBiz Project.